I think on the internet, there's a thing floating around about my wish list of the cast for Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
It's kind of floating around as, and it's not, that's not really what it was. This list that's floating around. What that was, I remember my agent telling me, okay, well, here's the thing, Quentin. What you want to do is you want the studio to sign off on the things that you want.
Okay.
So if they sign off on it, then, anything on that list, you have permission to do. Now, if they don't sign on it, then you have to negotiate it. You have to talk to them about it. But anything like that, but anything that they finally agree to, you're good with. So then I took and I didn't know exactly who I wanted to play this part or that part or this part or that part. And so, so I wrote a giant list with a ton of names. I wanted to get them all pre-approved.
Sure.
And I didn't know if it's going to work out, if I would vibe with the person, or if they would even do a good job. But I wanted to get them approved. So in case I did,
and this is an ambitious list, right? This is your second film.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's ambitious that who you ended up doing it without even knowing what your list was.
Yeah. So it's kind of all over the place, but that was kind of the idea. I wanted to be able to explore it and go all over the place. But then I'm also really very opinionated. So it's sort of like something like, I think for Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, for instance, I think it was one of those things where, okay, so for Pumpkin, we will offer the movie to Tim Roth. If Tim Roth turns it down, we will offer it to Christian Slater.
And this is how you're telling them this.
Well, yeah, it's written on the list. And if and if he turns it down, we will offer it to Johnny Depp. And I think it was the same thing with Alabama. So we will offer it to Amanda Plummer. If she turns it down, we'll offer it to Patricia Arquette. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so can
I ask you before you answer this though? Before you take it further, is it considered at the time? Are you shooting too high, or is it like perfectly normal for you to be targeting this talent at the time?
No, yeah. I mean, no, they could have done it.
It's perfectly reasonable.
No, I was a real hip cat after Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, well, yeah, of course.
Actors were really looking.
So it was reasonable. I'm saying.
Oh no, I could, if I, especially if I was offering him the John Travolta role.
Sure.
Johnny Depp would have totally read the script, and I'm not saying he would have said yes,
right.
but they would have considered it.
Sure. Okay.
And so, and also I'm working with the studio. This is like a big studio. All right, I got a studio behind me. This is not a little independent outfit. So, Mike Medavoy is looking at the list and goes, "Okay, well, let me just look at this list here. What you say? Okay, let me give you how the order I would go." I mean, Tim Roth is a very fine actor, and I know you just worked with him on Reservoir Dogs, so I'm sure that there's a connection and a loyalty there. However, the order I would go in is we would offer it to Johnny Depp first. And then if he turns it down, then we would offer it to Christian Slater. And if he turns it down, I would find somebody else other than Tim Roth to offer it to. And then if we can't do that, then Tim Roth. And I go, okay, Mike, let me ask you a question. This is a question I've been dying because I've heard these kind of stories before as far as Hollywood is concerned. And I've always had a question about this, and maybe you can answer it. Do you think Johnny Depp playing the role of Pumpkin in this movie, which is the opening scene and the closing scene, that's it, do you think that will add that much to the box office take, him playing that role? And Mike Medavoy said, "It won't add a dime. It would make me feel better, though."
And that's summarizes how most studio executives are, essentially. Right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're doing chancy material. However, if I get these big name actors to sign a board, okay, well, that's that gives us something to sell.
Yeah,
that gives us something to sell, and also we have compadres.
Yeah,
on this, they like it. They're responding to it. They give us a bit of cover.
Yeah, and then I get to, as the studio executive, I get to go, well, I did a pretty reasonable thing.
That's exactly
I
it.
put
If
Johnny
it
Depp
all
in it.
blows up, hey, I did my best.
Yeah, I got Johnny Depp in
Yeah,
here.
I got Johnny Depp. I
Yeah.
got Patricia Arquette. I got Jennifer Jason Leigh doing this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I covered my ass the best I could.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.